Assalamualaikum dear students, this is the second part of biological molecules. In this
we will discuss about the organic molecules. The molecules containing carbon as basic element bonded covalently with hydrogen is called organic molecules. Previously, organic means those are molecules which are obtained from a living organism, but nowadays organic molecules they can be synthesized in a laboratory. That's why organic word is a misnomer. Most organic molecules are large and complex. They have higher molecular weights. Previously, they are believed to be nature-made molecules. However, they are now can be synthesized in a laboratory. For example, urea, chloroform, etc. They are non-polar compounds. They don't possess poles, negative or positive poles. Some are water insoluble. Synthesis of large molecules by condensation. Now, most of the organic molecules are formed because of the condensation process. Large molecules that form structure and carry out cellular activities are highly organized molecules. These molecules are called macromolecules. Macro means large, huge. The building blocks are subunits called monomers are of low molecular weight. So macromolecules means large molecules are made up of smaller units. These smaller units are called as the monomers. Mono means single, mers means units or molecules. The joining of two monomers is called condensation. When two small units make bonds with each other, this process is called condensation. The bond is formed between the two monomers with the removal of water. Therefore, the condensation process is also called as the dehydration synthesis. Dehydration means removal of water, and synthesis means forming or making of bond and making of large molecules. The macromeres means large subunits. Large subunits are called polymers. Smaller subunits are called monomers, whereas the macromeres are large subunits are called polymers. Poly means many, mers means molecules. The basic structure and function of each family of macromolecules is very similar in all organisms. It ranges from bacteria to human beings. यानी इनकी बुनियादी स्ट्रक्चर एक जैसी होती है, चाहे वो बैक्टीरिया हो, चाहे वो एडवांस्ड जानदार हो, ह्यूमन बीइंग हो. इनकी स्ट्रक्चर, इन मॉलिक्यूल्स की स्ट्रक्चर सेम ही होती है. Now the reverse of the condensation process is called hydrolysis, breaking of large molecules by hydrolysis. Polymers are broken down into their subunits or monomers by the addition of water is called hydrolysis. यहाँ पे एक बात आप थोड़ा समझने के लिए कि कंडेंसेशन यानी उसमें बड़े मॉलिक्यूल्स बनते हैं, हाइड्रोलाइसिस में बड़े मॉलिक्यूल टूटते हैं, ब्रेक होते हैं छोटे मॉलिक्यूल्स में. कंडेंसेशन में छोटे मॉलिक्यूल मिलकर बड़े मॉलिक्यूल्स बनाते हैं. तो वो सिंथेसिस का प्रोसेस है और ये ब्रेक डाउन का प्रोसेस है. हाइड्रोलाइसिस, लाइसिस मीन्स ब्रेक डाउन, हाइड्रो मीन्स वाटर. कंडेंसेशन में बॉन्ड बनता है, पानी बाहर निकलता है. हाइड्रोलाइसिस में बॉन्ड को तोड़ने के लिए पानी पहले ब्रेक होता है और वो जाके बॉन्ड्स को तोड़ता है, इसलिए इसको कहा जाता है हाइड्रोलाइसिस. It is just reverse of condensation. In hydrolysis, bond is broken, energy is released and made available for different use of that energy. Metabolic process works on both the principles. In anabolism, macromolecules are formed as a result of condensation. हमारे अंदर, हमारे सेलों के अंदर मेटाबॉलिज्म होता है, वो दो कैटेगरीज उसकी होती हैं, एक एनाबॉलिज्म, दूसरा कैटाबॉलिज्म। एनाबॉलिज्म में मॉलिक्यूल्स बनते हैं, एना मीन्स टू बिल्ड, और कैटाबॉलिज्म में बड़े मॉलिक्यूल्स टूटते हैं, केटा मीन्स टू ब्रेक डाउन। So in anabolism, macromolecules, large molecules are formed as a result of condensation. बड़े मॉलिक्यूल बनते हैं कंडेंसेशन के जरिए। While in catabolism, macromolecules are broken into smaller molecules or monomers. अगर देखा जाए तो ज़्यादातर कंडेंसेशन जो होती है वो प्लांट्स के अंदर या ऐसे ऑटोट्रॉफिक जानदारों के अंदर, हमारे अंदर भी कंडेंसेशन का प्रोसेस या मेटाबॉलिज्म का प्रोसेस उसको हम कहते हैं, वो होता है। हमारे अंदर भी कुछ मॉलिक्यूल्स बन रहे होते हैं, कुछ टूट रहे होते हैं, यानी हमारे अंदर जो मेटाबॉलिज्म है वो वहाँ पे एनाबॉलिज्म भी हो रही होती है। और जैसे हमारी डाइजेशन है, इट इज़ अ एग्जांपल ऑफ हाइड्रोलाइसिस और कैटाबॉलिज्म। मगर जब मसल में जाके वही अमीनो एसिड प्रोटीन बनाएंगे तो उसको हम कहेंगे एनाबॉलिज्म। तो ये दोनों प्रोसेस जो है प्लांट्स में या मुख्तलिफ जानदारों में साइमल्टेनियसली चलते रहते हैं, इसको हम मेटाबॉलिक प्रोसेस कहते हैं। नाउ फर्स्ट टाइप ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक मॉलिक्यूल which is very important molecule in our body, in our cells, or building block of our cells is called proteins. Greek word proteos से ये निकला हुआ है, it means first rank, means they are very important, very essential organic compounds within our cells. They are large molecules, that's why they are the polymers of amino acids. Their building blocks are called amino acids or monomers. So they are actually polymers of amino acids. Specific amino acids linked together in a definite or specific manner to perform a particular function. Just like ABC letters to make millions of words, इसी तरह 20 टाइप के जो अमीनो एसिड्स होते हैं वो उनके स्पेशल सीक्वेंस से डिफरेंट टाइप्स के प्रोटीन्स बनते हैं जो हमारे अंदर मुख्तलिफ काम करते हैं। नाउ देयर आर 20 टाइप्स ऑफ अमीनो एसिड्स, उसमें असेंशियल अमीनो एसिड्स भी हैं और नॉन असेंशियल अमीनो एसिड्स भी होते हैं। असेंशियल वो होते हैं जो हमारी बॉडी नहीं बनाती, हमें बाहर से लेने पड़ते हैं, फ्रूट खाना पड़ता है, वो वेजिटेबल्स खानी पड़ती हैं ताकि वो असेंशियल अमीनो एसिड्स वहाँ से मिल सकें। नॉन असेंशियल वो अमीनो एसिड्स होते हैं जो हमारी बॉडी बनाती है, उनकी हमें ज़रूरत नहीं होती। सो देयर आर 20 टाइप्स ऑफ अमीनो एसिड्स टू मेक ए ह्यूज वैरायटी ऑफ प्रोटीन्स, जस्ट लाइक 26 letters of ABC to make millions of words. They constitute more than 50% to cell dry weight. सेल के ड्राई वेट का ये 50% होते हैं। Berzelius in 1838 named them as protein. Berzelius वो साइंटिस्ट था जिसने उनको पहले दफ़ा जो है नाम दिया प्रोटीन। A Dutch chemist G.J. Møller in 1883 called proteins as a vital compound. Vital means very essential for life. Now, amino acid is a building block of protein. As we know that proteins are made up of smaller units. These smaller units chemically known as amino acids. These are the monomers of proteins. The amino acids are linked together by a specialized bond or linkage. This linkage called as peptide linkage or peptide bond. That's why we sometimes we call protein as a polypeptide chain of amino acids. Now each protein has unique sequence of amino acids giving them unique properties. Amino acid contain at least one basic amino group NH2 and one acidic carboxylic group COOH carboxylic acid group bonded to same carbon That same carbon is called alpha carbon. Now, alpha carbon is attached from one side it is attached with the amine group, and from the other side it is attached with the carboxylic group. Now, structure of proteins. Structurally, proteins are categorized into three major categories. First, they are categorized as a primary structure. They have primary structure. A polypeptide chain having a linear sequence of amino acids due to peptide bonds is called प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर. यानी इसमें एक ही लाइन में अगर अमाइनो एसिड्स मिलते जाएं और एक धागे की तरह, सीधे धागे की तरह एक चेन बनाएं, जंजीर बनाएं, तो उस सीधी जंजीर को हम कहते हैं कि ये जो प्रोटीन है वो सिंपल प्रोटीन है, क्योंकि इसकी स्ट्रक्चर क्या है, प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर. इसका एग्जांपल इंसुलिन, जो हमारे शुगर जो है वो कंट्रोल करती है इन दी पेनक्रियास. Number second category is secondary structure. Now, secondary structure is formed when a polypeptide chain of amino acids become spirally coiled. यानी जब एक पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन स्प्रिंग की तरह या स्पाइरल की तरह अगर वो कॉइल होगी, तो इस कॉइलिंग की वजह से एक स्ट्रक्चर जन्म लेगी, जिस स्ट्रक्चर को हम कहेंगे हेलिक्स या स्पाइरल स्ट्रक्चर. Secondary structure is formed when a polypeptide chain of amino acids become spirally coiled. So they form rigid and tubular structure called helix. As RNA molecule is also a single helical molecule, DNA is a double helix molecule. Now, this helix structure is formed due to the hydrogen and sulfide bonds hold the protein chains in spiral manner. Examples are hair protein, keratin protein, and spider webs. These are examples of secondary structure protein. Now, when we move on the third category of protein structure, which is known as the tertiary structure proteins. These tertiary structure proteins refers to the arrangement of secondary structure into three-dimensional fold or superfold structure having peptide, hydrogen, ionic and disulfide bond is known as the tertiary structure of the proteins. Its example is lysozyme. It is an enzyme which is present in our tears. When any bacteria or any pathogen come into contact with the eye, then those tears containing lysozyme kills that bacteria or that pathogen. Number 4 protein structure is known as the quaternary structure, which is the association of two or more subunits polypeptide chains into large sized molecules. Its example is hemoglobin, which is present in our blood, which carries oxygen in our blood. There are two subcategories of quaternary structure. Homogeneous quaternary structure is made up of similar subunits, whereas the heterogeneous quaternary structure is made up of dissimilar subunits. Now move on the functions of proteins. Now these are some functions of proteins. Number 1, they are building blocks of cell. They make cells. As we know that cell membrane is made up of lipid and protein. So all the membranes of cells are made up of lipid and protein. So protein is a building block of cells. A typical mammalian cell may have as many as 10,000 different proteins with a diverse range of functions. They are structural cables. They make structures of cells, provide mechanical support to the cells internally or externally. Most of the enzymes are protein in nature, as we know that. Enzymes are biocatalysts, they are protein in nature, they are proteinous in nature. Another function of protein is as hormone. They act as hormones, growth factors and gene activators. They perform regulatory functions within the cell. They are membrane receptors and transporters. As we know that nowadays COVID-19, we have heard about the receptors of COVID-19 on our cells. So these receptors are actually made up of proteins and carbohydrates. So these proteins may function as transporters. They are transporting mediums for some materials from inside the cell to outside, or from outside of the cell into the inside of the cell. Protein act as antibodies. Antibodies are those substances which are produced within our body against any antigen. Antigen is any foreign particle, any foreign pathogen. As we know that every cell membrane has some protein and carbohydrate structure. That glycoprotein structure is known as the antigen, which is the cell marker, which is the identification of a cell. It is also known as the antigen. Every cell has its unique antigen. So if any pathogen of a unique antigen enters in our body, then our body produces antibodies against that antigen. The last example of protein function is fibrin, which is an clotting protein within our blood. That's the end of the lecture. Next time, inshallah, we will discuss more topics. Khuda Hafiz.